This is Matt and Brandon from True Tall Tales and Whiskey, and we're bringing you a new segment. We're going to call it. So for our first episode, Brandon brought through these cool-ass guitars right here, man. These are some of my personal favorites. Made in Japan, Fenders, 68 reissue, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pink Paisley. I mean, how cool is that, man? Take a look at that.
Right.
Got the back shot, too. Check that out. So, Brandon, give us a rundown, man, of how you came across these things, man.
So there's a guy out in Austin, Texas, and I had put up a guitar for trade, right? And I put it up for sale, and then in the description, I said, looking for Pink Paisley, and he hit me up, and he was like, "Well, I got something for you." And so, anyways, went out to the Leander area, and this guy used to run, I believe it was front of house for the Aladdin Theater, and so allegedly, these are from Billy Gibbons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from ZZ Top. And so, but the cool thing about these is, if we can get into the story, right, and the reason these are so cool, I mean, they look, I mean, it's like you said, it's a statement.
Yeah,
right?
It's a statement, being on stage with these bad boys.
Yeah.
For sure.
But what was cool to me is in 1968, James Burton was looking for a guitar from Fender to play on stage with Elvis, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard this?
No.
Okay, so
I've not.
That's how these came about. So he's looking for a guitar. Fender is kind of scrambling, going, what are we going to do? Well, they had wallpaper, this Pink Paisley wallpaper.
Yeah.
And they put it on the guitar and gave it to him, and they were like, well, here's what we had in mind for you. But from my understanding, it was just kind of like a scramble, like, what are we going to do? You know? And so his initial reaction when he first saw it was like, I don't know about that. That's like a little bit too much, right? But he brings it because it's like that's the option that he had at the time.
Right.
Brings it in, plays the show with Elvis. Elvis calls him in after the show, and he's thinking, I'm about to get reamed.
like taking his flamboyant guitar
pink guitar. And so Elvis is like, hey, man, that thing's rad. Start bringing it around.
Oh,
so at that point, that's when it became sort of his like signature. When you think of a Pink Paisley, that's what you think of. And a lot of people go, Brad Paisley, but,
right.
That's not the deal. But so at that point, Fender's kind of going, all right, well, this was a one-off deal, for this guy.
Yeah.
So that's why that initial 68, it was a 2-year run, if I remember right, 68 to 69. And it's because they had that wallpaper. And then once that wallpaper was done, that's it. So, they didn't kick it back off until the 90s, I think, which is when they did the Japan factory did the reissues on.
Right. That brings me to what I was going to say. Some of my favorite guitars ever made are the made in Japan Fenders from the 90s. I mean, the quality, way more consistent than what you would get from Fender or Gibson these days. I don't know if we should say brand names, but we're going to. And that's just my personal opinion. Okay? But man, if y'all can get your hands on one of these, you should, because they're going up and they're going to keep going up. I mean, I think back in like 2016, 2017, they were like half the price of what they are now.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to keep going up, so. Yeah, it's really cool, man. I've always loved the Paisley finish. I mean, like we said, it's a statement. I mean, it's a cool guitar to have in your arsenal. And man, I mean, what would you think if you went to see a band and the guitar player and the bass player had matching guitars? I mean, that's just badass.
But that's the thing, right? Like everybody has kind of a story of when you like first saw these things somewhere and you went, what is that?
Yeah.
And mine, honestly, I think what got me interested in it was, well, Billy Gibbons, I knew that he played them, but Noel Gallagher from Oasis played them in the 90s. And he played these, the Japanese reissues.
The reissues, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like every once in a while these guys will pop up because they're still not like super widely known to guitar nerds like me and you.
Yeah.
We freak out about them, but it kind of like people start seeing them randomly because some player will be like, wow, like you said, it's a statement.
Yeah.
And it, then people like me and you who'd never seen them kind of go, "What's that?" Like,
Yeah, you start gassing over it.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
For
So
sure.
mine was. I want to say seeing Noel Gallagher was the first thing that sort of sent me down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then I went, "Are you kidding me?" The first time, well, that was on stage was an Elvis
Yeah.
show, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty cool how that works with gear and stuff, man. Because like with me, the pink Paisleys, when I first saw it, I was like, man, that's fucking ugly. You know, I was like, I don't like that at all. But I kept seeing it. I kept scrolling past it. And I was like, dude, I gotta have one. I gotta have one of those. You know, so it's really cool, man. They'd be even cooler if they were nitro. But I will say, paint job's a lot more durable on these than they were with nitro. You know,
for sure,
that wallpaper started to crack and come apart, and it is cool how they turn gold and all that stuff, you know, in the nitro ages. But
that's the thing is one day I'm hoping, you know, but those things, the difference is many thousands of dollars. So it's like,
yeah,
I mean, I think the cheapest one that I saw from '69 that was currently out there is right around 20 grand, something like that.
oh, dude,
I mean,
I don't doubt it. I don't
Yeah.
doubt an original, man. I don't doubt it.
yeah, but I do love this turns more red and gold is
Yeah.
kind of what that ends up looking like, which to me is just that's the in my mind that's the look. Like the pink is cool and all, but I like it when it kind of goes more to a little bit red.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah. So shout out to the guys behind the scenes who are buying up all these guitars. Someone's probably out there selling like new old stock wallpaper for $600 a foot or something.
I know, right? I think it's like some company like, let's start producing this same wallpaper thing. Do it like they used
but
to.
they had to, man. They had to, you know, and it'd be really cool that they have the blue flower Paisleys they did. They have the black Paisley, which is like black over silver. Man, they're just cool. They're just really cool guitars, man. It's awesome that you ended up with two of them.
You love them or you hate them, I think. Like some
I don't
people
know
are gonna look at it and go, "No, sir, and that's not for me."
If I was you, bro, I don't think I would ever get rid of them. I mean,
Yeah.
they're really cool.
I won't.
And what a great way to kick off our first episode, man. It's got some really cool stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good spot to wrap it, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the last thing I'll say is that real men play pink.
Yeah. Don't be afraid. If you like that pink, don't be afraid of what the other guys are going to say. Even if you are the bass player, don't be afraid. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and end it here, guys. That was our first episode of Strings Attached. See y'all next time.